Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Pan Prabhuji, for facilitating chanting. Jai Shri Prabhupada. We'll start with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay, so this week, as we said yesterday, we will continue with our new prayer. And this is the week, first of all, very, very auspicious Diwali to all of you. Happy Diwali. This is the day when everybody worships Lakshmi Maya. And so in that spirit, and when Lakshmi Maya is happy when we worship her husband, which is Krishna. So let us worship Krishna by this prayer. So today we'll sing a wonderful prayer on this auspicious week of Diwali and Govardhan Puja, when little Krishna, as we are singing the Damodar Ashtakam this month, but little Krishna, when he grows up a 7-year-old, he lifts Govardhan Hill also in this week of Diwali, actually 2 days after Diwali. And this is a very, very auspicious time in the month of Kartik. So we will sing this wonderful prayer called Sri Govardhan Ashtakam by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. I've sent the link in the chat. Let me share the screen. So Govardhan is Giriraj Govardhan is in Vrindavan, and our acharyas explain that Govardhan is not different from Krishna. So the Brajvasis prayed to Giriraj Govardhan, and Giriraj Govardhan provides them everything, and it provides them protection from the torrential rains that Indra sent. So Giriraj Govardhan gives us protection, and Giriraj Govardhan gives us all facilities that we need. It fulfills all desires. So in that mood, let's sing this prayer. Shri Govardhan Ashtakam by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Krishna prasadena samasta shaila samrajyamapnoti cha vairinopi shakrasya ya prapa balim sasakshad govardhano me dishatam abhishtam swaprishthahastam bhujasau kumarya sukhanubhuterati bhumi vrittehe mahendra vajrahatimapyajanan govardhano me dishatam abhishtam yatraiva krishno rishabhanuputrya danam grahitum kalaham vitene shrute sprihayatra mahatyata shri govardhano me dishatam abhishtam snatva sarasvashu samirahasti yatraiva nipadi paragadhuli alolayan khelati charu sashri govardhano me dishatam abhishtam kasturikabhi shaitam kimatrit uham prabhu swasya muhurvitanvan naisargika sviyashila sugandher govardhano me dishatam abhishtam vamsha pratidhvanyanusara vartma didrakshvavo yatra harim harinyah yantyo labhante nahi vismiti sa govardhano me dishatam abhishtam yatraiva gangam anunaviradham aroya madhye tu nimagna nauka krishno hi radhanugalo babhausa govardhano me dishatam abhishtam vina bhavet kvim haridasa varya padashrayam bhaktirata shrayami yam eva saprema nijeshayo shri govardhano me dishatam abhishtam etat pathedyo haridasa varya महानुभावाष्टकमात्रचेता श्रीराधिका माधवयोपदाब्ज दास्यं सविन्देदचिरेण साक्षात् गोवर्धनो मे दिशतामभीष्टम् गोवर्धनो मे दिशतामभीष्टम् हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे श्री गोवर्धन अष्टकम की जय। शिला विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। Anyone who can read the translation this morning? Okay, Meenakshi Mohini would like to read.
Hare Krishna. Happy Diwali to everyone. May Govardhan Hill, which by Krishna's mercy became the king of all mountains and received the respectful tribute of its arch enemy Indra, fulfill my desire. As it was held above the earth, it became so filled with happiness by experiencing the softness of its beloved Krishna's lotus hand, it did not even know it was being struck by Indra's thunderbolt. May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. Trying to collect a toll, Krishna quarreled there with King Vrishabhanu's daughter. The personified Vedas yearned to listen to that quarrel. May Govardhan fulfill my desire. Bathing in a nearby lake, the elephant of a pleasant breeze covered with pollen of kadamba and other flowers gracefully plays there. May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. Does the sweet fragrance of Govardhan come from a musk deer who relaxes there, from the Lord who plays there, or is it Govardhan's own natural scent? May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. Searching there for Lord Hari on the path of his flute music, the astonished deer do not find him. May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. As the divine couple travelled on the Ganges, there the boat began to sink in the middle. Krishna was splendidly handsome as Radha clung to his neck. May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. Without taking shelter of the feet of the hill that is the best of Lord Hari's servant and full of love for the divine king and queen, how is it possible to attain pure devotional service? May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. May the reader of these 8 verses glorifying Lord Hari's greatest servant, his heart melting with pure love, quickly attain great service to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Madhava ki jai. Raj Govardhan ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Such a wonderful prayer. Talking about the glories, talking about the pastimes of Sri Giriraj Govardhan. And like I said, Giriraj Govardhan is not different from Krishna. So when we sing the prayer, Lakshmi ji today will be very, very happy and she will fulfill all your desires. Like we say, what is the prayer that everybody sings? Jai Vishnu Mata tumko nisidina sevat Hari Vishnu Vidhata. All the desires are fulfilled by Lakshmi Devi. But how? Because she is the wife of Krishna. All her energies, all her powers come from the Lord Sri Hari. So today we are glorifying both Sri Hari and Sri Lakshmi Devi. So may all your desires be fulfilled by the mercy of Sri Govardhan Hill. Okay, Hari Hari Bol. So let's continue Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Yesterday, some of us joined in the morning. We did read the foreword to Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit, chapter 45 to 60. We are on chapter 46. There was a beautiful foreword that was written by one of the professors from Georgetown University, where he talks about how Srila Prabhupada truly came, as a saint, spiritual revolutionary in this day and time. It kind of very much correlated with the talk that His Grace Anatama Prabhu gave yesterday at the home program of Ajay Prabhu and Anita Mataji's home. And how Prabhupada lived those values and showed that each one of us at those times who were there, and now even those of us who are there, we can achieve the same thing what he achieved just by practicing what he shared in this day and age of modern technology, consumerism. Everybody is just so much after materialistic comforts, and we see so much of wastage around us, pollution, and it's just like, yeah, like a rat race going on, right? But in this day and age, how we can achieve pure joy, pure bliss, by applying these spiritual values in our life, which are ancient but also very, very relevant, because these are eternal. They'll never get affected by time, because kalos me, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is time, and Krishna is making everything else around here in this material world, because it is material, is destroyed by time. But Krishna's eternal message is always eternal. It's never affected by time, because it is Krishna himself. So it's very nice foreword that he wrote of how Prabhupada transformed the lives and how he showed this alternate way of life. Because people today are ignorant. They know they are suffering. Yesterday also in the question and answer session, some people are asking, okay, we know, but what should we do, right? And Prabhuji gave a very simple answer that, no matter where you go, Krishna is coming in different forms, whether you go to a Christian church, whether you go to a Muslim mosque, whether you go to, Gurudwara, the same message of pure love for God, it is coming from everywhere. It's Krishna coming to us in different forms, different ways. It is up to us, to listen and to apply it in our life. And that is the main part. People are aware today that they are going through suffering. Everybody is suffering. They understand everything, but we don't take that extra step to actually apply the teachings of our shastras, of our scriptures, of our acharyas in our lives. So we just have to go deeper. That was his message yesterday to the audience, that we have to go deeper in our sadhana. And that is what Srila Prabhupada taught us. And it was very nice. We are now, Prabhupada is in Denver. And we saw again everything that we read last week about Prabhupada's arrival in Denver. And again, he's talking the same thing, how this materialistic population is. Everybody's thinking that, the devotees are escapists. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to work. But Prabhupada is so clearly explaining, well, we are all children of God. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that ye tamam prapadyanti, or Krishna says sarva dharman parityajya. Surrender everything, come to me, and I will give you protection. Isavasyam idam sarvam. So Krishna is the proprietor, controller of everything. And we are serving Krishna. And it's not like Prabhupada is not working. We see how much at the age of 75, 79 right now, how much he traveled. We travel one country, we have to go to India, we suffer, jet lag. We don't want to get up from bed for one night, one whole day. Right? And here is an 80-year-old man traveling. How much of hard work, how much of labor, how much, he like all these constructing these temples, like we know challenges we go through building one center, one temple, how much of legal problems, how much of bureaucratic problems, internal problems, external problems, an 80-year-old man traveling the whole world and establishing 108 temples. How much of labor, how much of hard work is that? Sleeping just 2, 3 hours in the night, waking up at 1, translating all this wonderful literature from Sanskrit to English for all of us. Is that not hard work? That is work. That is hard work that he is doing for Krishna. And he's saying that is work. We labor so much for materialistic comfort, for car, for bank balance, for house. And people think that we are doing hard work. But Prabhupada is, as Acharya, they open our eyes because they are blinded by darkness. And he shows us what is real hard work. If we do this much of hard work for devoting our time towards the Lord and serving Him, while we continue to live in this world, we are not escapists, we are not leaving anything in this world, but just including Krishna in whatever we are doing. That's it. That's what Srila Prabhupada is teaching us. And that's what Prabhuji was also saying yesterday. So it was wonderful. This month of Karthik, all the programs are wonderful, simply wonderful by Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Okay, so let's continue. Srila Prabhupada's example was a delightful revelation to the devotees, and they laughed at the obvious truth. Here they were, walking so pleasantly with their spiritual master, and yet no one else was coming to enjoy the park. Prabhupada, but as soon as we ask, you also come and join, they will not. They say, no, we shall work like this. We are asking everyone, come here, but they will not come. That is their enviousness. Therefore, they say we are escaping and living at the cost of others. They see that we have got so many cars and the devotees' faces are bright. We are eating nicely and have no problems. But if we ask them to come, then it is very difficult. If we ask them to chant Hare Krishna and dance, oh, it is a very big, heavy task for them. As soon as they will come, they will know that there is no tea, no liquor, no meat, no cigarette. So you can say that we are escaping these things, but we are not escaping happiness. They are escaping happiness. When Srila Prabhupada did not have a specific engagement in Denver, a few of his men sometimes gathered in his room. Occasionally, he would provoke some of them into a mock debate with him. Srila Prabhupada, everything must come from something. No one can deny that. Now we give our challenge. Do you know what the absolute truth is? Brahmananda. We know there is an absolute truth, but at this time we cannot directly say what it is. Prabhupada immediately replied that if a person admits not knowing the absolute truth, then that person has no grounds for rejecting the Vedic explanation of the absolute. That person cannot deny Krishna is the absolute truth. If you don't know the philosophy, Prabhupada said, then you must agree to hear from an authority who does. Satsarupa. Yes, that argument is logical, and we should at least listen to you. But we have heard so many versions of the truth. Why should we accept your version? Prabhupada. That is like saying, I have come across so many counterfeit coins. Why should I think there are real coins? There are counterfeit coins, and there must also be genuine ones, genuine coins. It is our misfortune if we are unable to extinguish the real coins from the counterfeit coins. Another sannyasi challenged that Krishna conscious version was dogmatic, since there were many truths and many gods. But the absolute truth is one, Srila Prabhupada replied, because God is one. God has no competitors. If a person does not accept Krishna as God, then he has to present someone who is more fully God than Krishna. But if someone does not know who is God, then that person cannot deny Krishna. If you speak that way, Prabhupada continued, then you are being dogmatic. You do not know what God is. Yet, dogmatically, you are saying that Krishna is not God. Prabhupada compared those who deny the supremacy of Krishna to owls who do not open their eyes to see the sunlight. Such persons demand to see God, but when God comes before them personally or when he sends his pure representative, they will not see. On another morning walk in Denver, Tamal Krishna Goswami told Prabhupada that some of the devotees were reading books about health diets and were avoiding the prasadam offered to the deity in the temple. Srila Prabhupada immediately replied that this was not good. Fasting, he acknowledged, was good for health, but the devotees should not become weak. They should take prasadam and do their work. When one of the devotees told Prabhupada he got drowsy after eating heavily of grains and therefore preferred fruit, Prabhupada said that was all right. Fruit was offered to the deity. When Yadubara said that in Los Angeles the families often cooked in their own homes instead of taking prasadam of the deity, Bhavananda Goswami testified how wonderful it was at the Mayapur festival when hundreds of devotees sat down and took prasadam together. Prabhupada, yes, what is the difficulty? Chapatis, rice, they are innocent foods. What is the difficulty? Harikesha. A lot of devotees are quoting you. They say there is no need to eat grains and that you said that grains were for the animals. Prabhupada. But I am eating grains. Harikesha. I tell them that. Prabhupada. They say, Prabhupada says, then you believe that. Prabhupada said that devotees should not listen to health advice if it resulted in their refusing to honor the Lord's prasadam. Prabhupada. Therefore, follow taking prasadam. Let whatever may happen. Tamal Krishna. Let us die eating prasadam. Prabhupada. Yes, that is devotee. But we must prepare very first class foodstuffs. And then, where is the complaint if it is first class? Returning from the walk, Srila Prabhupada continued to discuss the topic in Srimad Bhagavatam class. I was hearing that we are not taking prasadam, especially the grihasthas. No, that is not good. You should take prasadam. Prabhupada described how Bhakti Yoga begins with controlling the tongue by chanting and by eating Krishna prasadam. So in our branches, he continued, all the devotees take prasadam together. That is nice. Why we should not be liking to take prasadam in the temple? What is the fault? No, this is not good. Everyone should take prasadam. It is called prasada seva, service, not prasadam enjoyment. Prasadam means giving service. Prasadam is as good as Krishna and should be respected as good as Krishna. So one must have faith that it is not material. Those who are attached to the Krishna consciousness movement and are attached to the service, they should take prasadam, first class prasadam. Everyone likes the taste of prasadam. Hari Bol. July 2nd, 1975. On the plane from Denver to Chicago, Prabhupada scanned a Time magazine essay on crime, a cover story entitled Crime, Why and What to Do. Landing at the O'Hare airport, he was greeted by hundreds of cheering devotees and the press. Your Divine Grace, Sri Govinda, the Chicago Temple president said, pushing forward. This is Miss Jones from NBC television. How do you do? Smiled Miss Jones, and several other reporters held microphones before Prabhupada. I would like to know what the occasion is. Why are you visiting Chicago? Just now I have seen one article in Time magazine, Srila Prabhupada replied. He raised his right hand in an instructing gesture and leaned against the cane he held in his left hand. It was 4 or 5 pages, he continued. Crime, why and how to solve it. If you are serious, then you can take our method and suggestions. Then you can stop this crime. You have a way to stop the crime? Oh, yes, I have. Can you explain a little bit more how to do it? Srila Prabhupada nodded. That we have to suggest. The social, political, educational, cultural, everything has to be changed. So if you come, we can give you in details how it can be done. Miss Jones dropped the issue and asked Prabhupada how he felt about his welcome. She seemed unnerved by the devotees crowding around to see and hear Srila Prabhupada. By God's grace, Srila Prabhupada said, wherever I go, they welcome me like that. Miss Jones, are you used to anything a bit more serene? Serene? Prabhupada thoughtfully considered the word as they all stood together in the midst of the noisy, heavily trafficked airport. Of course, our whole propaganda is serene, he said. Yes, we are distributing God consciousness. It is the most serene movement. People have to learn it very nicely. Thank you, said Miss Jones. She had gotten enough. But Prabhupada added a last word. My message is to stop the crimes of your country. This is my sum and substance. You have read the article in Time magazine, Crime and How to Stop It? So if you take my advice, that can be stopped. The world is simply full of criminals. Prabhupada continued, seated in the back seat of the car as they pulled away from the airport's entrance. Crime means papi, sinful. To Srila Prabhupada, it seemed to make no difference that he was sitting in a car with a few disciples and not speaking with the press. If simply by law you want to suppress them, it will not be successful. Deliver them. Then you also come along with them. Not that these criminals only should be delivered, and you will go on continuing with criminal activities, slaughterhouse, and killing the child in the womb. You are criminal yourself, the whole state. Srila Prabhupada sat waiting for his massage to begin. His regular daily schedule was to take a massage at 11:30 a.m. before bathing and taking prasadam. But today, because of his plane travel, his routine was interrupted. Nevertheless, he wanted to follow his general program as far as possible. Upendra was getting mustard oil and the mat for Srila Prabhupada to sit on. So, we can solve this, Prabhupada said to the few disciples with him. Why not invite them to hear us? How we can solve? We can arrange big meetings on this point. Crime, why, and what to do. A very suitable headline it is. Prabhupada continued to develop a Krishna conscious analysis of crime. As long as society violates the laws of nature, he said, there must be crime. He thought it significant that according to the Time article, the leaders of the country were actually wondering what to do about the increasing crime rate and that they were admitting that they didn't know the solution. Now, he said, our business is to give the solution to these leaders if they actually want the welfare of the country. All the problems could be solved by Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada had often said. And now he was eager to tackle the particular problem of crime. America's leaders were admitting their bewilderment, and if they were actually sincere, then they might accept the Krishna conscious solution. Prabhupada was keen to preach to the government leaders. Krishna consciousness was meant especially for them. Bhagavad Gita stated that the Raja Rishis or saintly kings should disseminate the teachings of the Gita to the citizens. But were the leaders actually serious? Srila Prabhupada wondered. He was serious and he anticipated the special opportunity that might arise here in Chicago to preach to the leaders about ending crime. While sitting with a group of disciples in his room, Srila Prabhupada asked for a particular Bhagavatam verse to be read, and he gave the opening Sanskrit. Kamastya Nendriya Pritihi. Harikesha read, a completely bewildered material civilization is wrongly directed toward the fulfillment of desires and sense gratification. In such civilization, in all spheres of life, the ultimate end is sense gratification. In politics, social service, altruism, philanthropy, and ultimately in religion, or even in salvation, the very same tint of sense gratification is ever increasingly predominant. In the political field, leaders of men fight with one another to fulfill their personal sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada interrupted. Now in India, this is happening. All these things are foreseen. I have already discussed all this in the purport. Then, Harikesha continued reading. The voters adore the so-called leaders only when they promise sense gratification. As soon as the voters are dissatisfied in their own sense satisfaction, they dethrone the leaders. The leaders must always dissatisfy the voters by not satisfying their senses. Again, Prabhupada interrupted. There are protest meetings and processions, but nobody will be able to satisfy them because they do not know how to keep the mass of people satisfied. These rascals, they do not know. I have always said they are rascals. Now they ask what to do. They will face so many problems. What to do? This is the beginning. The whole world will be in chaos if they do not take to Krishna consciousness. So many what to do will come. Just tell them that here is the remedy. Now it is the time for preaching. They are thinking they are sleeping, but now they are thinking what to do. They are blindly following sense gratification. And now it has come to the stage of what to do. This is the opportunity for preaching. We are the only persons who can give solution. There is no other group or any man in the world. We are only. So let them take advantage of our knowledge and apply. Now all the sannyasis have got the good opportunity to preach. The ISKCON temple was in the Chicago suburb of Evanston, and on July 4th, the day after Prabhupada's arrival, Edgar Vanman Jr., the mayor of Evanston, came to visit Prabhupada in his apartment. Immediately, Prabhupada referred to the Time News article on the crime. The remedy, he said, is to train first class men. He told the mayor briefly of the Vedic society's four natural divisions, pointing out that society had become so degraded that everyone is in the fourth class, the lowest class, and sinking. The only hope was to train some first class and second class men. We certainly need a new approach, admitted Mayor Van Man, because we are not being successful now. After less than an hour's conversation, Srila Prabhupada was ready to make a bold request. Previously, Jagadish, the GBC secretary for Chicago, had mentioned that a very large municipally owned building across the street was vacant. Srila Prabhupada decided to ask the mayor to donate it. Already, he had explained to the mayor that Krishna consciousness could stop crime and drug addiction, and he now asked Hari Kesha to read a letter by Dr. Stilson Judah, author of the Hare Krishna and the Counterculture. In the letter, Dr. Judah appreciated Krishna consciousness for transforming lives from drug addicted hippies to loving servants of Krishna and humanity. So we can stop this provided we are given the facility to work on, said Prabhupada. When the mayor replied yes, Srila Prabhupada made his request. So I was thinking, Prabhupada said, just in front of here there is a very nice house, Marywood, a big house. You have knowledge about this house? The mayor replied that this building was to be the new city hall of Evanston. Srila Prabhupada had not been told about this, and he hesitated, while the mayor spoke of how the city's offices, scattered for so long in 9 different locations, could now all be together in this one building. But this is more important, Prabhupada said. City service is going on, but criminals are increasing. So why not give us a little opportunity? Mayor Vanman explained politely that he would have to talk with the city manager, tactfully excusing himself from commitment. If we get a good place, Prabhupada continued, with the cooperation of the authorities, then our simple program is, as Professor Judah has remarked, to turn drug-addicted hippies into devotees. We shall invite everyone to come and chant Hare Krishna mantra and take prasadam. I began this movement in New York alone, and these boys gradually came to me. But my process was this, chanting and giving them prasadam. Everyone will be glad to accept it. They will read these books. These devotees here are practical examples. I am a poor Indian. I did not bribe them. Neither have I any money. Prabhupada laughed. So now they have dedicated their lives for this purpose. So I want to do it on a large scale. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's pause here. Yeah, so these leaders have to be taught, like Prabhupada is saying here, Raja Rishis. In the old times, there were Raja Rishis, and this knowledge, the topmost knowledge, was given to the Raja Rishis, and because of this knowledge, they were able to nicely rule the state, rule the citizens, and everybody was happy. In when there was Ram Rajya, like that. So unfortunately, today, because the leaders are misguided, the civilization is misguided, and it's vice versa. The civilization is misguided, so they choose such leaders who are misguided, and eventually both of them are going around in circles, without any solution in sight. So Prabhupada is giving the solution here. That we have all solutions to all problems. If we take up to the simple process, simple and very, very easy process, and we don't have to make things complicated. Just chant, eat prasadam. Everything starts with the tongue. So chant the glories of the Lord, eat Krishna prasadam. Slowly, slowly, we'll start to see magic. Yesterday, Prabhu, you were saying after the class, how when people are talking about all these policies that are coming up, all the immigration issues, the ICE officials, detaining or deporting people, and how some people who are joining this current administration, they have to do a lot of things which are, I don't want to say right now, but yeah, it's just like, since he comes from Maryland and he comes from the Washington DC area, he sees how politics is operating right now, And again, not just in this country, but Prabhupada is saying here, even in India, the same influence is happening. And now we see this. That was 50 years ago, 1975. Today, we see how much the political system is in turmoil everywhere, not just here, not just in India, almost over the world, with all these wars going on, all these arguments and fights and sufferings. Innocent people are being killed, children are being orphaned. There's no food shortage, there is water shortage. So much of problems all over the world, just because of the hunger or greed for material sense gratification, enjoyment, or power. That this country should listen to me, these people should listen to me, right? So that has become the attitude of most of the civilization, most of the leaders. So unfortunately, crime is also increasing because people are without basic necessities of life. So what will they do? They'll have to do crime to get that. So Prabhupada is giving so many things, and he's traveling all over sharing this wisdom. And yeah, Prabhuji was mentioning how I was telling him yesterday when we were driving back from the home program, like how Prabhupada at this age of 80, how much he traveled again. Like we travel to India and we are jet lagged and we don't want to do anything for 2 days. And here Prabhupada is going from one country to another, one continent to another, one city to another. And at the age of 80 years, he quickly adapts to that particular time zone that he is in. And he was saying that, wherever he went, Prabhupada went, immediately he will adjust his clock. And that time it's not clock, I mean his watch and his wristwatch, immediately to the local local time zone. And immediately, he will be in that time zone. And again, the same thing he will do, like 2 3 hours of sleep, and then wake up at 1 in the night, and then do all his translation of purports. So just that, it just is like out of this world. You cannot, a mortal individual cannot do that. You see that, it's practically impossible for anybody to do that. But he had the potency, he had the empowerment, that he was able to do that at that age, at 80 years, when everybody else in the world is on the like in India बोलते हैं ना, खटाई पकड़ खटिया पे बैठ जाते हैं, right? They just take the cot and sit on that. Nobody's even able to walk around. And here is a man doing this at the age of 80 years. So how much of hard work is that? That is the hard work for Krishna. And if we do even a bit of that, a drop of that, then our lives will be perfect, and we can go back and not come back to suffer in this world. So we have to just channelize our energies in the right direction while continuing to work in this world. So that is the lesson we learn from Prabhupada. Okay, any other thoughts, comments from today's reading, or anything that you have learned, anything that you have liked so far in our Karthik programs? Haribol, Adi Guru Prabhu, anything you would like to share?
Prabhu, I like your energy, the enthusiasm with which you read. It really transports us to 1975. Thank you so much for doing this service. It's very wonderful to hear your voice in the morning. Uh, and I think what Prabhupada gave the formula for just two things, chanting and prasadam, is so simple. If you want to do something for Prabhupada's movement, we just have to treat people prasadam, and eventually they'll take up chanting and reading books. So I think prasadam is the key. Yeah, to distribute prasadam, invite people to our home, be happy, feed them prasadam.
Mm. Yes, Prabhu. So that is why these home programs are so nice. That's what we are doing, chanting glories of holy name,
Yeah.
and giving prasadams. Yesterday was very blissful. Yeah, some people came to me after, and I know you were sitting there talking to many new people. So, and Prabhuji also saying the same thing. Actually, Harita was asking the question yesterday after the program to Prabhu about how she is trying to tell her friends, and
Mm-hmm.
they are Indian. So if he was asking, so are they Indian bodied or American? And she was saying, yes, most of them are Indians. And then he was asking, so are their parents? How are their parents? Do they come to temple? Do they worship? And then so it was a nice conversation. I only heard part of it, but then he was saying the same thing. Like, yeah, first thing you can do is just give them some prasadam. That's it. Don't tell them anything else. Yeah, so he's saying, you just bake cookies. You bake some cookies, take them and give them. Don't even say, this is very spiritually or very powerful cookie. Don't say anything. Just feed them prasadam. That's it. And then everything will transform. So So yeah, like you said, it's very simple process, and that's where we should start. Mm. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing that. Okay, anybody else would like to say anything? Else, then let's pause here for today. Again, wishing you very, very auspicious and spiritually powerful Diwali. May our desires be fulfilled by Shri Giriraj Govardhan, spiritual desires, and of course, material desires will automatically be fulfilled when Krishna is happy with us. Right? He gives us everything that we need, that we are qualified for, without even asking. So we just pray to Giriraj Govardhan, and Lakshmi Maya will automatically be satisfied. So let's conclude with Vaishnava Pranam prayers. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavrind ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit ki jai. कार्तिक मास महामहोत्सव की जय, दीपावली महोत्सव की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Happy Diwali.
Hare Krishna, Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali, everyone.
Happy Diwali.